I will receive.
All right, Doug. You're pulling the Ravens.
Yep.
A lot of times people kick,
Defer.
like to kick. But all right, here we go. Iowa had appeared to return a punt for a late touchdown last Saturday to take the lead against Minnesota. Cooper DeJean, the punt returner, was waving his arm to alert teammates about a short punt with his left arm. But that motion was ruled a fair catch. Did Iowa get robbed?
Okay. So the thing is, from field level, the arm never went above the shoulder. But when you're waving your arm, according to the rule, and what I read from one of the rules analysts is that motion is indeed an illegal fair catch signal. Now, it's not to be penalized for, but it does kill the play when somebody fields it. And that makes no sense to me. If it's not a penalty, I think this is, by the way the rule is written, I don't think they got screwed by the way the rule is written, but the rule is stupid because that means waving your teammates away can be misinterpreted as a fair catch and kill the play. And people wave their teammates away all the time.
Yeah, but I imagine it's done for safety precautions. That being said, they had a chance to review it, and it was clear he intended to return it. His team in front of him is blocking for him. And when the guy actually returns the kick, there are 5 guys around him ready to make the tackle, and he just gets past him. He's the best one of the best return guys in college football. I think they got screwed.
I would suspect nobody on Minnesota sideline was arguing that was a fair catch before.
Yeah.
No, he caught the ball by Minnesota's sidelines, and no one was arguing he called a fair catch.
Like, oh, yeah, he's going to return it. Go ahead. Good luck, my friend.
No, he absolutely got screwed. Iowa got screwed. He's their best offensive player, and he doesn't even play offense. He was clearly going to return that. That's a dumb rule. They got screwed. Will James Franklin ever get over the hump, Gator?
Nope. Simple answer. Look, I thought this was a year for James Franklin and Penn State. I thought they had a loaded team. Turns out that I'm still not wrong on that. They just have a bad coach. That's not true. He's a good coach. He's a hell of a recruiter, but he's not good enough. He's not good enough, and as good as his team is this year, they still have some holes. I think that they don't have big-time wide receivers that you need to have in college football. You have to have big-time receivers. They don't, and it's going to be their Achilles heel. It's going to sink them because they don't have the big play. They have a quarterback that won't throw the ball past 20 yards down the field, and no, I don't think James Franklin can get over the hump. If he's not going to do it this year with this loaded team, he's not going to do it.
Sometimes we say something that turns out to be prophetic, and sometimes you say something that turns out to be pathetic. And for me, I thought that they went into that game with the better quarterback for the first time in the James Franklin versus Ohio State rivalry. And Aller may be that when it's all said and done, but he's not yet. And their pass game was non-existent. They were 0 for 15 on third downs until their final drive. They did nothing in the second half. I think that doesn't reflect well on James Franklin, who, Gator, you're going to hate me for this, but I'm actually starting to feel sorry for him.
Come on.
Will James Franklin ever get over the hump? Never. Next question. Jacksonville State is 6-2 under Rich Rodriguez. Is he actually due for another Power 5 job?
Probably not. When he got let go from Arizona, it was more than just the wins and losses. It was like off the field stuff and office sexual harassment stuff. So that's hard to overcome. But I mean, other coaches have, right? I mean, Hugh Freeze, his reputation has been reestablished. There's a weird stuff with who was the dude that was in Louisville? Petrino, Bobby Petrino. Yeah. So you can come back from that. But I keep going back to, if your all offense, no defense style didn't work in that era of the Pac-12, I'm not sure it can work at the Power 5 level. The Pac-12 was all offense, no defense, and he didn't win big time there. So I don't think anybody is going to give him a Power 5 job yet.
Well, he's 60 years old, so he's not ancient. You'd have one last kick at the can, I would say. I think he deserves it. Look, he was 43-35 at Arizona. It's a pretty good record considering it's Arizona in the Pac-12. They're not one of the big dogs, but he had a much better than 500 record. Now, Doug brings up the off-field stuff, and that's absolutely something you have to look out for. It depends how damning it was at Arizona. Did he leave in disgrace? I don't think he left in disgrace because it didn't really get national attention. So it's something that if they're a Power 5 team and you're looking for a coach, you could do worse than Rich Rodriguez. I think he's got one more chance.
I agree with you, Gator. I mean, you've mentioned a couple examples already, Doug. This is college football, man. That place is dirty, okay? When you're a little dirty, medium dirty, or really dirty, Rich Rod can find a way. Even it would just be a smaller school in one of the Power 5 conferences, maybe one that's not a threat to most. But I think he does get another shot, and I would not be surprised. If sign stealing is so prevalent in college football, do they need stricter rules or simply just go to the NFL's helmet communication system with the radios?
Well, I think they just have to go to the NFL system. It ends this whole debate. I don't know why they haven't. The NFL has had this in place since the mid-'90s, and they've made improvements on the communication. And look, you can let a number of players in on it if you want to, or you can just have only the quarterback and only the defensive captain. I don't care. Whatever it is, do it. This is so stupid. I'm getting tired of hearing people say, well, everybody does this. Everybody steals the signs. Well, if that's the case, then go to a different system. And let's stop with the 4 pictures on the board and all this crap. Just communicate it through a microphone and a headphone. Let's go.
Yeah, because you get these signs up there and you're like, is that Speed Buggy and President Obama? Like, you see these crazy signs.
Right. Like, what do they get confused? Is that Jessica Biel? Is that Jessica Simpson?
Right.
Is that Jessica Alba?
Yeah, John Stamos.
Or is it John Stamos? I don't know.
So it's all cost. Like, the reason you couldn't scout in person was because of costs. That's how it started, is they didn't want to spend the money. And now putting radios in the helmet is cost. And it's a simple solution to what now has become a huge issue in college football. I mean, people were accusing people of stealing signs and being mad about it before this happened, and doing it legally. They were still upset. So, yeah, just add the damn radios.
And how stupid is the cost? The cost argument is ridiculous because all you got to do is sponsor it. There you go. They give them to you for free.
Who cares about the cost? It's $1 billion corporation, okay? I mean, they have private nutritionists. They have hot tubs. They have state-of-the-art weight rooms. Doug, you've seen these places. It's ridiculous. They have the money. Go to the headset. Matt Rule just came from the NFL back to college and said, this is dumb. High schools have radios in their helmets. Why doesn't college? They need to move on and get college updated with the rest of football. All right, USC is now 6-2 after last week's loss to Utah. Is Lincoln Riley in danger of losing his job?
I think Lincoln Riley needs to just focus on football and defense. He's a good football coach. The whole banning a media member and not making his team available to the media, that stuff makes me wonder if a coach is distracted by stuff that doesn't really matter. Lincoln Riley may need to go back to square one when it comes to his defensive staff, but I don't think he's in danger of losing his job. I think he needs a little bit of a reset, the athletic director, to tell him, hey, get it together, stop focusing on stuff that doesn't matter, and go back to the drawing board with your defensive staff. But I do not think he needs to lose his job.
There are crazy fan bases out there where if he were coaching one of those teams, those crazy fan bases, he would be on a hot seat. USC is not one of those crazy fan bases yet. I saw this as a rumor, like, is he on the hot seat because of what's going on? They lost 2 games now this season. On the season, I think they thought that they were going to have national championship aspirations. He's an excellent offensive mind. The only thing that's going to keep Lincoln Riley from succeeding at USC is Lincoln Riley deciding he wants to go to the NFL, because the NFL would love to have a guy heading their team that is an offensive mind like this. I'm surprised he hasn't jumped to this point, but his 72-15 record in the NCAA would tell me that he shouldn't go anywhere. He wasn't going to leave. I mean, look, nobody was kicking him out of Oklahoma. He decided to go for greener pastures. He went for the money. He should stay at USC.
No, he's not in danger of losing his job. He's in danger of losing his quarterback, though, because he might not have anything left to play for. I mean, the national title is what Caleb Williams was going to play for. Now, I think Caleb Williams is going to finish out the year, but probably sit out the bowl game. Lincoln Riley and USC, you said it, Gator. It's not that rabid fan base where they're going to be calling for his job. I think as long as he keeps the team scoring points and they're always kind of in the talk and they're exciting, I think that's enough for USC. But yeah, Lincoln Riley, he's fine. You just got to get your next quarterback once Caleb Williams leaves, because it's going to be a lot harder. There are a lot of great coaches in college football aside from Nick Saban. Who do you think currently right now is the best coach in college football?
I think it's a coach. It's out west. It's at Utah. It's Kyle Whittingham. I think what he has done with that program is amazing. Now, he took over the program for Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer went undefeated his last season at Utah, and Whittingham took over the team for the bowl game and a Fiesta Bowl win, and has just been running ever since. You think about that. Okay, Urban Meyer's got all these question marks about him in his past and recruiting techniques and his coaching techniques or whatever, but everyone says he's a great coach because he is. Kyle Whittingham doesn't bring any baggage with him. He's just Kyle Whittingham. He's a career guy at Utah since 2004. His record is 160 and 75. 160 and 75. This guy has won 10 games or more in 3 of the last 4 years. He's on pace to do it this year. The only year he didn't do it in the last 4 was the COVID year. He's outstanding, and I think he might be the best by a long shot, because how do you recruit kids to Utah?
I think you're right. And I'll just add this, doing it all while looking like a character from Yellowstone.
Yes. 100%.
I think he's the best coach in the game.
I think Rip might be his defensive coordinator.
Might be.
I'm kind of calling my shot a little bit. I know the question is currently, but I think it's Coach Prime. That team, they were terrible last year, and they started off the season with big upsets. I know they just had a bad loss at Stanford, but Coach Prime, like he said earlier this year, get him now while you can, because once he gets this thing rolling, that dude's going to be at top of the food chain. I like Coach Prime as best coach.
And there it is. That concludes the live animal mascot, marching band, trophy game thingy. Swing around the country, college football.